And Liverpool in the end with a comfortable 4-1 victory over Luton. Taking a look at what that means when they re-establish that 4-point lead over Manchester City, who play at the weekend. Meanwhile, Liverpool at the weekend take on Chelsea, don't they, in the Carabao Cup final. They'll be live here on ESPN+. The big talking point going into that tie, inevitably, well, who will be fit? We know that Jota won't be, and it's a day-to-day thing for the likes of Salah and Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, and on top of that, Chelsea have been, albeit from a very low bar, much better in terms of their team selection, the back four, their shape, their pressing at Aston Villa, their pressing in the first half at Man City. All these things, they have been better in the last 2 or 3 games. They weren't very good at Crystal Palace in the first 45 minutes. But they've certainly got a little bit more confidence than they did a month ago. Well, this game a month ago, it wasn't quite a write-off, but it wasn't far off. You think, well, how the hell? Chelsea have just been to Anfield and been battered. How the hell are they going to turn this around? And all of a sudden, they're playing a little better. You've got these injuries for Liverpool. That's big. That's huge. I mean, Liverpool are still favourites. There's no doubt about that. But certainly if you're in the Chelsea camp, you're a lot more buoyed about this, particularly the way they've defended with the, you know, Thiago Silva sat out. We talked about it yesterday. DCC, Colwell, Chilwell and Malo Gusto, who's been excellent. That really has covered up some problems in the last 2 or 3 games for Mauricio Pochettino. So yeah, I think certainly more of a concern now for Liverpool going into this than there was 3 weeks ago, when it looked like they'll put a strong team out. Chelsea are struggling, and this was a big one of Frank's 80-20s. But I think it's been narrowed a lot since then.
However, having said all that, it's got to give Jurgen Klopp some hope going into that final, despite missing all the big names, that we saw this Liverpool side do what Liverpool have done quite a bit this season. Even with the big names within their starting lineup, it starts slowly, but then once they find that edge, they use it, and they use it extremely well, Jules.
Yeah, incredible. 22 points they won now this season from a losing position. It's more than anybody else in Europe. I think it's as high as they ever did under Jurgen Klopp through the whole season, and there's still 13 games or 12 games to go now for them. So pretty remarkable how, even if they go behind and they concede goals, to be fair, again today, when they go behind, they always come back, especially on field. So despite all the injuries, I think they had 11 players injured. All in all, we mentioned a few, but Trent, Szoboszlai, plenty of others as well. So it's not easy, but they still have a good depth in their squad, of course. And I think they'll be ready to go for the final, depending on Salah's fitness, of course, and Darwin's fitness. The lineup will be different, and when Gakpo plays up front, it's a different style to Darwin. Elliott on the right, very different to Salah. So all of that will have to be taken in consideration. But I think even if Chelsea are better, like Craig rightly said, I think Liverpool will fancy their chances, and they know they're favourite.
And of course, as it stands, they're not favourite, though, to win the Premier League. That mantle still belongs to Manchester City. Liverpool have more questions about the fitness of players out of these 3 sides, Jules. Could you say they could go on and win the title without Darwin, without Salah, without Jota?
Of course they can. But we mentioned it the other day. I think, Dan, you were not there, and Craig, it was Stevie was on the show. I think Frank was there. Of course, injuries. And we saw Saliba for Arsenal last season. We've seen in the first half of the season when KDB wasn't there for City, and Haaland for the last 2 months or so. It's difficult, even if you have a good depth in your squad, even if you planned before to have every position doubled or trebled. It's hard when your big leaders or your big stars are not fit. So that will have a big impact. Also, let's not forget that City are the only team amongst the 3 to play both Liverpool and Arsenal, because Liverpool and Arsenal have faced each other twice already. So that will have a big input. But yeah, I think Liverpool, even with all the injuries, at some point those players are going to come back. They can, of course, go and win it.
Frank, you're the king of percentages today. Go on then, break it down, these 3.
Well, I still think that City is a favourite for me, even if what I saw against Chelsea wasn't good. And it goes between, for me, them and Liverpool. I don't know. I had that feeling that Arsenal is not yet ready. It takes time to win the Premier League, and they last year proved that they changed the way their mindset, and they get much better. They got much better, and this season again. But I think they're still not yet there where against Man City and Liverpool, we have proven that they are the top for now a while, you know, winning the Premier League, both of them, winning the Champions League, both of them. I think Arsenal is still not capable of, I would say, race for the title. And in between City and Arsenal, I don't know, it's like we saw that last season, we saw that so many other seasons with Manchester City finishing strongly. So I still believe that it's possible and they're going to do the same. But I'm amazed by the quality of the players at Liverpool, and with all injuries and the players who can step up. We see the young Bradley doing very good if Trent Alexander is not there. Nunez, we had some question marks when Salah left.
What percentage,
for the,
Frank?
AFCON. And he did very well. My favorite? Oh,
what percentage?
Okay. What percentage? What? Between the three? I give, well, it's hard to give a percentage for three teams, you know, but I give 52% for Manchester, or 55% for Manchester City.
Yes.
45% for Liverpool and 10% for Arsenal.
No, I don't know. No. You haven't got any percentage left, Frank. You've got nothing left. 55 and 45.
I think if he was to...
True. So sorry. 45, 35, 10.
Okay.
Frank must just hate Arsenal.
That's it.
I still, and you know, I've been on this pedestal for a while now. I still believe that Arsenal are the biggest threat to Manchester City. I'm still firmly of that belief. It's not a perfect scenario for them. They have their own problems to get over. And Liverpool are also a great side. I think it's nip and tuck. It's very close, but I still think Arsenal are the side. I think if Liverpool were to lose, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if Salah was to be a longer term, if Diaz was longer term, and of course Jota is, I don't think they win the league. And I think if Liverpool win this league this year, it could, even if those players come back, it could go down as one of, if not Klopp's greatest achievement at the football club. When you think about it, we've had the Asian Cup and the African Cup of Nations in between, where he's lost a player in Salah who got injured. He lost Endo. He's got Matip out with a cruciate for the season. He's had all these issues and, you know, lost both fullbacks as well for sustained periods. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson on the other side, and then lost Tsimikas to the dislocated shoulder. If they were to go all that way and win it with these problems in his final season, beating these two teams, not just Man City, but at the moment it's these two teams, I think it would be the best thing Klopp has ever done at this football club. And so I think I'm telling you, that's how difficult this is going to be.
A discussion for another time if they do achieve it. Look forward to having
That's a discussion for a night when it's been a really bad Champions League night.
I look forward to it.
Like
so
tonight.
where does that leave Luton, this defeat? They wouldn't have gone to Anfield to expect to pick up anything, and what that means is they remain in the relegation zone, level on points with Everton, 4 adrift of Nottingham Forest.
But I'd be encouraged if I was them.
All right.
You don't want to talk about Luton, do
We're
you?
not talking about the relegation. Move on. I don't know. Move it on. Here we go. Chelsea.